On my daughter's birthday, Marcus brought a little boy home. His adopted sister, Vanessa, followed behind him, saying timidly, "The paternity test shows that Leo is indeed Marcus's child, and he was really the one that night." Marcus sighed helplessly. "That night, I got drunk and mistook Vanessa for you, making a huge mistake. But the child is innocent. I've already missed 5 years of Leo's growth. He's my biological son, and you wouldn't want my child to be an outsider, would you?" I gave a scornful laugh. "And then? What are you trying to say? Leo can't grow up without his father. From now on, I'll spend 3 days a week with Leo, 3 days with Lily, and on Sundays, I'll take both children to play together, so they can develop a sibling bond." I nodded flatly, calmly taking out my marriage certificate and tearing it to shreds. "There's nothing left to say. We're getting a divorce, and the child is staying with me." Marcus looked as if he'd heard a joke. "Where would you go without me? All right, stop this nonsense." He then put his arm around Vanessa and left. What he didn't know was that the man who had waited for me for 10 years was coming back to the country. My daughter tugged on Marcus's jacket, struggling to hold back large tears. "Daddy, it's my birthday today." Marcus frowned, took a pen from his suit pocket, and casually tossed it onto the table. "You're old enough, what do you need a birthday present for? Here's a pen, study hard." He walked away without looking back. But I suddenly noticed the designer watch on Leo's wrist. Marcus had made a blind bid for it at an auction before. I had thought it was a gift for my daughter, but he had denied it. "It's for a friend's child." Watching my daughter's aggrieved little face, my heart ached unbearably. I held her, softly comforting her. "It's okay, Lily, Daddy is just too busy with work and forgot. Shall we cut the cake?" My daughter sobbed, "Daddy has a new child, he doesn't love me anymore." My compass year snapped. No matter how nonchalant I tried to appear, the betrayal of a 10-year relationship shattered me. After wiping away my tears, my phone rang. Marcus had sent dozens of photos in the family group chat. He and Vanessa were kissing Leo's cheeks, one on each side. Anyone who didn't know might have thought they were a family of 3. I remembered when Marcus had taken down our family photos and wedding pictures, claiming they didn't match the decor. It felt like countless hands were clutching my heart, my chest heavy. Immediately after, Vanessa sent me a private photo. In the picture, she and Marcus were shirtless and pressed close together. There were countless hickeys on their bodies. She retracted the message 2 minutes later. "Oh, I'm so sorry, Grace, I sent it to the wrong person. You didn't see it, did you?" I took a deep breath, unable to swallow my anger. Screenshot taken, sent to the family group chat. Then I turned off my phone. Less than 20 minutes later, Marcus kicked open the door, roaring furiously, "Grace, what is the meaning of this? Sending those photos to the group chat? How will the family look at Vanessa now?" I stared at him coldly. "What, you slept together with your adopted sister, and you're too cowardly to own up to it?" He suddenly fell silent. "It was just an accident, why are you dwelling on this? What man hasn't made a mistake?" Then he irritably tugged at his tie. "Take care of Leo. I need to take Vanessa to get her nails done." With that, Vanessa, who had been hiding outside the door, led the child in and pouted coquettishly. "Hurry, Marcus, that nail salon is packed." Marcus shoved Leo in front of me and said, "If anything happens to my son, you're finished," then turned and walked away. Looking at the face that was 5/10 similar to Marcus's, I felt a wave of nausea. But I had promised my daughter a trip to the amusement park, so reluctantly, I took both children. While waiting in line, I bought them 2 ice cream. As I was about to book our entry, I looked up and saw Vanessa leaning against Marcus's shoulder. They were coming out of the hotel across the street. My throat felt dry, and I chuckled self-mockingly. Just then, a sharp cry rang out. Leo's face was covered in ice cream, his hot tears smearing it into a mess. Marcus heard the commotion and looked over. Seeing in such a state, he rushed towards me, disregarding the bustling traffic. With a loud smack, a stinging slap across my face, which quickly swelled red. "I entrusted the child to you, and this is how you take care of him?" Before I could explain, Leo burst into tears. "Daddy." Lily tried to snatch my ice cream, and when I wouldn't give it to her, she smeared it on my face. Vanessa was heartbroken upon hearing this. She cried and knelt at my feet, bowing her head. "Grace, I accepted all the ways you used to bully me, but please, can you not let Lily bully Leo? He's Marcus's biological son too." My daughter's tears fell one by one. "I didn't do it, he did it himself." "Enough." Marcus roared, making my daughter flinch. He pointed at her nose and said coldly, "Lily, when did you learn to lie?" Then he frowned, staring at me. "Look at your well-taught daughter, shirking responsibility and spreading lies. How are you a mother, teaching your child to be like this?" My daughter was holding my hand with one hand and her ice cream with the other. There was no way she could have hurt Leo. Besides, I knew her. Lily had always been well-behaved and never caused trouble. Yet didn't even ask, he just slapped me, showing completely unreasonable favoritism towards Leo. I suddenly remembered he used to show Vanessa the same favoritism. Because of love, I had tolerated it countless times, thinking he would love me someday, until he brought home a son he had with another woman. I was suddenly tired, too weary to explain a single word. With a cold face, I took my daughter and left. "Grace, where are you going? Get back here, eh?" ND apologized to Leo. I paused. "Marcus, why should I always be the one to apologize? You can investigate the truth if you wish." Just then, my phone rang, and a text message popped up. "I'm back in the country. Can we meet?" I froze, ignoring the scolding behind me. After dropping my daughter off at preschool, I went to the coffee shop. Upon arriving, a tall figure enveloped me. Julian's eyes were red-rimmed as he looked at me, his voice carrying an almost imperceptible hint of grievance. "We agreed back then that if you were still single in 10 years, you would accept my pursuit. Now I'm here to keep that promise." I pursed my lips, but as I turned, I met Marcus's gaze. He froze for a moment. Seeing an eye at a somewhat intimate distance, he frowned deeply, his hand forcefully pinching Vanessa's chest. Vanessa blushed, breathing into his ear. My heart felt a slight ache. I looked into Julian's eyes and nodded gently. "Okay." He seemed incredulous, excited like a child. "Grace? You agreed? I've loved you for so many years, and you finally agreed. You're interested in a woman I don't want. Julian, your taste has declined quite a bit after a few years apart," Marcus said with an imperceptible anger and a hint of sarcasm. "Do you know how many moles she has on her entire body? Julian, Grace is only accepting you to make me angry. Back then, she loved me to death. Do you believe her verbal promise, or our marriage certificate?" I looked up sharply, staring at him in disbelief. Even though I was already disheartened, hearing such vicious slander made my heart feel like a piece had been gouged out. Julian had always outperformed Marcus since their student days. Perhaps himself hadn't realized that he lost all reason whenever he saw Julian and me together. Julian's face instantly darkened. He was about to react, but I grabbed his sleeve. I forced a sarcastic smile, unwilling to show any weakness. "Marcus, the moment you brought Leo home, we were over. Let's find a time to get a divorce." Marcus was about to mock me for using reverse psychology again, when his phone suddenly rang. At the same time, I received a call from my daughter's teacher, and my face changed dramatically. When I arrived at the school, I saw my daughter covering her torn dress, her face covered in mud, silently crying. A string in my mind suddenly snapped. Since my daughter's birth, I had always protected her well, unwilling for her to suffer any injustice. My daughter was my only weakness. I rushed over and hugged her, tears streaming down my face. "Lily, who bullied you? Tell." My daughter burst into tears, every word stabbing my heart like a needle. It felt like it was bleeding. "Brother said I don't have a daddy, and he stole the stuffed animal daddy gave me. When I went to get it back, brother suddenly sat on the ground and cried, and the teacher said I was a bad child and had to be punished. Brother also said I was an illegitimate daughter." "Mommy, what's an illegitimate daughter?" "Shut up. How dare you slander young Leo? Do you know who his father is?" My daughter's teacher looked at me askance, her tone sarcastic. "You're Lily's mother? Can you please discipline your daughter and not steal other people's things? Forgetting about the stuffed animal, does she also want to steal someone else's father?" It was then that I realized Marcus had actually enrolled Leo in this preschool. A surge of anger erupted, and I rushed over, gripping her wrist tightly, gritting my teeth. "The young Leo you speak of is actually..." Before I could finish, a huge shove sent me reeling. My forehead hit the corner of a table, leaving a large bruise. "Grace, Lily has turned into this kind of person because you spoiled her. She's bullying my son now. What do you have to argue about?" Vanessa looked apologetic. "I'm so sorry, teacher, for the trouble. His father and I are usually busy with work, so thank you for your efforts." The teacher immediately waved her hand, smiling obsequiously. Oh, no problem at all, Mrs. Marcus. You and Marcus have an unbreakable bond. You're busy attending all sorts of events. Don't worry, I'll take good care of Leo. Mrs. Marcus? I stared directly at Marcus. He avoided my gaze, as if he hadn't heard the title, or perhaps he tacitly approved. He lovingly held Leo in his arms, patting his back and softly comforting him. Be good, Leo, don't be afraid. Daddy's here, no one dares bully you now. My daughter opened her arms, looking at Leo enviously. Daddy, can you hug Lily? Daddy? The teacher sneered, looking at me with disdain. Don't think that just because she has the surname Sue, she's a young lady of the Sue family. An illegitimate daughter will never be presentable. Could it be that someone wants to leverage her daughter to climb the social ladder? Vanessa's face flashed with discomfort, but remained calm, not sparing my daughter a single glance. I suppressed the countless bitter emotions in my heart, looking at him with difficulty. Marcus, as you tell me, who is your rightful daughter? Who is the one listed as your daughter on your household registration? Marcus was silent for a long time, then he chuckled. You climbed into my bed back then, scheming to have a child and trying to replace Vanessa. I've already given you enough child support for you and your daughter to live comfortably for a lifetime. Why are you so aggressive, insisting on a title? Everyone around us burst into laughter. Leo stuck out his tongue at my daughter triumphantly, and the teacher couldn't help but roll her eyes. A fake is a fake, it can never become real. Something exploded in my mind, stinging my eardrums. The air around me seemed to be sucked out, leaving me breathless. Memories flooded back like a tide. Marcus remembered my period. When it came, he would personally make soothing herbal tea. He remembered every relative's birthday, every holiday. Before business trips, he would personally cook meals, dividing them into portions and storing them in the fridge, stroking my head with a helpless yet doting expression. Eat less takeout, it's not good for you. He never let the nanny handle my things. He personally handled everything related to me. In a trance, I seemed to see a young man running towards me, shyly extending his hand. Marcus from Finance 1, may I get to know you? We had been in love for years. I thought we would be together forever. But he had actually cheated even before my daughter was born. And he shamelessly brought the child home, publicly disavowing his wife and daughter. My eyes were a little moist. I took a deep breath. Smiling, I looked at Marcus. As you wish. Then I turned and walked away with my daughter. Soon after, hurried footsteps sounded behind me. Marcus grabbed my arm, forcibly turning me around. All right, what I just said was said in anger. Why were you messing around with Julian? Besides, Leo was just recognized and is sensitive. I need to give him enough security. So you disregard Lily's hurt feelings? I looked at him sarcastically. Marcus, having been hit where it hurt, impatiently adjusted his sleeve. Don't push your luck. Haven't I given her enough love these past few years? What do I owe you? But what about Leo and Vanessa? What have they received? Is it necessary to make such a big deal out of it? I suddenly pulled away from him. The one who cheated was acting as if he was in the right. I was too tired to argue with him further. I hailed a taxi and went straight home. Once home, I packed my clothes into a suitcase. I couldn't stand being in this disgusting place for another moment. I had planned to gradually tell my daughter about leaving, to move out and transfer her school in a couple of days. But since Marcus had already disavowed my daughter's identity, I would absolutely not let Lily be ridiculed anymore. Maria paced anxiously, unable to resist advising, Madam, they'll make up, it's just a lover's quarrel. Life is never perfect. TLY smooth. Don't act impulsively. Marcus, who had just returned home, heard this and scoffed. Don't bother with her. She always got jealous of Vanessa, and didn't she always crawl back like a dog after making a fuss? Then he lit a cigarette and slowly blew out smoke rings. Grace, keep packing. Let's see how long you can hold out this time. I said nothing, quietly arranging my luggage. The moment I walked out with my daughter, a loud bang from the closing door sounded behind me, completely severing my connection with Marcus. 2 hours later, Marcus casually toyed with his wedding ring and instructed, open the door. Tell to crawl back in. When has she ever not sat crying on the doorstep, waiting for me to comfort her? Always throwing these diva tantrums, does she think everyone has nothing better to do? Maria looked at him strangely, hesitating. Madam. She's already gone. She got into a Rolls-Royce 2 hours ago. Marcus froze for several seconds, the ash from his cigarette falling to the ground. Instead of getting angry, he laughed. Julian really did get involved with her? Fine, I want to see how long Grace can last. At Southwood, Julian had hundreds of couture gowns sent for me to choose from, his eyes full of tenderness. Grace, will you accompany me to the charity auction tomorrow night? Thinking of keeping myself busy to forget the unpleasant things, I agreed. The family had always been keen on charity, and Julian would immediately make a blind bid for any exhibit I merely glanced at. So at the auction, everyone marveled as Julian, a formidable figure in business, spent a fortune for a woman. One valuable piece of jewelry after another was acquired, and everyone was smart enough not to compete with the Julian family's wealth. Until the last exhibit appeared. The host built suspense with a meaningful tone. This auction item is quite extraordinary. His gaze swept over me. For some reason, a shiver ran down my spine. Soon, the moment the curtain was unveiled, the entire hall erupted in chatter. Inside the glass display, starkly, were women's intimate garments. My pupils widened abruptly. When I left Marcus's house, I had intentionally left behind everything he had bought me, precisely to avoid any further entanglement with him. But I never expected him to put my intimate garments up for auction, to satisfy the perverse tastes of certain powerful figures. Julian, next to me, frowned deeply. It was clear he didn't know they were mine, so he didn't bid. Meanwhile, people around me excitedly raised their paddles one after another. I thought this auction was monopolized by the Julian family, but I didn't expect such a big surprise at the end. Look at the high-quality material. It must belong to some wealthy man's mistress, whose wife is seeking revenge. Who cares, I'm into this kind of thing, it must smell divine, I'm already aroused. Julian unpleasantly glanced at them, then turned to see my pale face, immediately filled with concern. Grace, are you feeling unwell? I parted my lips slightly, but words were stuck in my throat, I couldn't utter a single one. My hands gripped the chair tightly, wanting to pull out my phone and confront Marcus. The next second, the host on stage dropped another bombshell. By the way, there's also a bonus offer. The curtain was lifted, revealing a child's nightgown lying quietly on the stage. The intense discussion and chatter suddenly ceased. Everyone exchanged glances, their eyes filled with shock. But then someone raised a paddle, made a blind bid. My legs went weak, and the accompanying fury surged from my feet to my scalp, making my heart pound. My gaze swept to the back, meeting Vanessa's challenging eyes and Marcus's cool glance. I held back my tears and rushed towards them, splashing red wine onto Marcus's face. Are you even human? Sending your own daughter's clothing to an auction house, letting it be desecrated. Lily is only 4 years old. All eyes in the room instantly focused on me. Someone said, isn't that Mrs. Marcus? How did she become Julian's woman? What? Marcus? She's clearly a home-wrecking usurper. Everyone knows Marcus and Vanessa were childhood sweethearts. Vanessa was raised from childhood to be Mrs. Marcus, who knew she'd be cut off by someone with ulterior motives. Marcus calmly wiped away the red wine, then looked up at me. What, the 50 million alimony wasn't enough? You have to make a scene in front of my wife? Vanessa's nose turned red with grievance. You drugged him back then and climbed into his bed, forcing him to marry you. But you didn't know I was already pregnant with his child. These past few years, Leo never saw his father since birth. You're the one who separated us from his child. Her words instantly ignited the onlookers. I can't believe Grace is so promiscuous, going to such lengths to marry into the Sue family, and now she's latching on to Julian. She won't let go of any wealthy family. Luckily, Marcus recognized young Leo and kicked Grace out, otherwise, how much more would Vanessa and her son have suffered? Lies surged towards me like a massive wave. Out of the corner of my eye, I suddenly noticed a glass cup flying towards me. Too late to dodge, I instinctively closed my eyes, but the expected pain didn't come. Instead, I fell into a warm embrace. Julian blocked the glass cup with his bare hand, his gaze coldly sweeping over the crowd. Do you all have a death wish? Everyone instantly fell silent. Someone dared to speak. Mr. Julian, don't be fooled by this woman. You're slandering the woman I've loved for over 10 years? Julian then looked at Marcus, his eyes as cold as ice. The person you don't cherish, someone else will treasure. I took a deep breath, speaking each word clearly. Since you detest Lily and me so much, then sign the divorce papers. You hate us, yet you cling to not divorcing me. Marcus, you're truly a hypocrite. Marcus stared intently at Julian's arm arrow. My waist, his face darkening. He then chuckled, brandishing a marriage certificate. Open your eyes and look closely, who did I marry? A hint of doubt flashed through me. I opened the marriage certificate, only to find that the person in the photo was Vanessa. The date was a year earlier than when Marcus and I supposedly got married. Oh my God, so Marcus didn't marry Grace after all. I knew it. How could Marcus be tricked into marriage by her? Marcus is truly brilliant, seeing through Grace's gold-digging scheme and turning it against her. He's indeed a formidable figure in business. It's hilarious how Grace kept talking about divorce, when she was just being played. What a clown. I stood there, stunned, my mind replaying the day we registered our marriage. Marcus gently placed the veil on my head. He loudly and firmly spoke his vows. His eyes were full of tears the moment he pressed his fingerprint. Was it all fake? A fake marriage certificate, a fake love. Then why did he pursue me? Why did he marry me? My mind was blank. Julian quickly led me away, instructing his assistant as we went, completely block the news. Nothing from today's events is to be leaked, especially keep an eye on those reckless reporters and tabloids. Don't let them defame Grace. Also, compile a list of everyone who slandered Grace. Terminate the Julian's partnerships with them, withdraw investments, and initiate mergers and acquisitions. I stiffly leaned into Julian's embrace. Although I was disheartened by this marriage, I had never imagined it was fake from beginning to end. No wonder he never divorced me, because we were never married. Inside the venue, the host stood awkwardly on stage, hesitating whether to continue. Marcus raised a hand, ordering someone to remove the exhibit. With a cold face, he said, "Investigate for me, who exactly swapped the last exhibit." His gaze subtly swept over Vanessa. "Once it's clear, no matter who it is, I won't let it go." Vanessa's face turned pale. She forced a smile and linked her arm through his. "Marcus, we should head back. Leo keeps asking for you." Surprisingly, Marcus didn't respond, instead looking in the direction I had left, murmuring, "Do you think she really hates me now?" We drove in silence. I leaned exhaustedly against the car window, completely lost, laughing self-deprecatingly. "Julian, I feel like I'm living a joke," he said softly, with concern. "You just saw the wrong person, you didn't do wrong yourself. Grace, pull yourself together. I'll walk the future path with you." The car stopped at the villa entrance. Alfred paced back and forth anxiously. Seeing us, he couldn't stop wiping his sweat. "Mr. Julian, Miss, Mississippi." My heart seemed to skip a beat. I suddenly sat upright. What happened to Lily? She was fine during dinner, but then she disappeared in a flash. We searched the entire villa area but couldn't find her. Now we've dispatched people to search the whole city. Julian was furious. Useless. So many people couldn't keep an eye on one child. "I told you repeatedly before I left, did it all go into your pig brains?" Alfred started, falling to his knees, trembling. I quickly opened my phone to check the location. Lily's smartwatch was linked to my phone, but the location showed she was still in the villa. Just then, a nanny stumbled over. "The watch is in the room, but she's gone." I immediately panicked, clutching my sleeve with tears in my eyes. "Go through everyone in the villa one by one, retrieve all city surveillance footage, and find Lily at all costs." Just as I finished speaking, Alfred suddenly looked up. "Mr. Julian, I just remembered, Lisa suddenly resigned this afternoon. When I asked her why, she just stammered something about going back to her hometown to take care of her mother." Julian family servants were treated exceptionally well. There were old employees who had served for half a lifetime, so people rarely resigned voluntarily. Lisa had only been hired yesterday. Resigning in just one day was truly suspicious. Julian coldly ordered a full investigation into Lisa, then patted my shoulder comfortingly. "Don't worry, with the Julian family's influence, I'm sure we'll find Lily quickly." But I clenched my fists tightly. I had accidentally seen her file yesterday. She used to be an employee of the Sioux. I had felt something was off then, but hadn't had time to tell Julian. A wave of regret washed over me. "Julian, I need to go to the Sioux family's house." "Don't worry, I'll handle it. You've helped me enough. This time, I need to face it myself." At the old mansion, Grandma held Leo, her face beaming. "My darling, you're the spitting image of your father. Thankfully, I didn't agree to your real marriage with Grace back then, otherwise, my Leo would have been an illegitimate child, wouldn't he? Oh, my precious!" It was a scene of pure joy. Suddenly, the mansion door burst open, and a figure slanted in with the night. Everyone present was startled. Marcus looked up, freezing when he saw me. "Give me back my child." He frowned. "What child?" "Stop acting, Marcus. You sent Lisa to infiltrate the Julian family, wasn't it to abduct Lily to get revenge on me? I warn you, don't underestimate a mother's ruthlessness." I grabbed a kitchen knife and confronted him. Marcus tried to take it, gripping the handle with his hand. "Grace, don't lose your mind, don't hurt yourself." "What? I don't even know who Lisa is." "Don't pretend. I can let go of everything in the past, but if you dare touch my daughter, I'll go all out and take your whole family down with me." Grandma was furious. She raised her cane, about to strike me. "Grace, you're with Julian now, and you still dare to come to the Sioux family to cause trouble? Do you think this old woman is dead? Someone, drag this woman to the basement." Suddenly, Marcus stepped in front of me, taking the full force of the blow. He bit his lip, letting out a muffled groan. "Grandma, please don't be angry yet. Grace wouldn't come here without reason, she must have a difficult situation." Grandma was incredulous. "At a time like this, you're still protecting her? For years, Vanessa was clearly your lawfully wedded wife, yet you always announced Grace as your wife to the public, causing Leo to grow up without his father." "Marcus, you're confused." Marcus suddenly frowned impatiently. "Grandma, this is my own business." "All right, so you've grown wings, have you? Don't forget, the group's heir hasn't been decided yet, Marcus. You're not a child, acting impulsively isn't like you." I suppressed my frantic emotions, trying to remain calm. "I don't want to cling to your family. I just want my daughter back." "Marcus, your former employee abducted my daughter. Can you honestly say this has nothing to do with you?" As soon as I finished speaking, a series of footsteps sounded behind me. "We found her." Julian pushed Marcus aside. "Stay away from Grace." The bodyguards dragged a woman in, who pleaded tearfully. "Mr. Julian, please let me go. It was all Vanessa's idea. She told me to sell Lily to the slums to be an indentured child bride. She forced me by threatening my father's life. It has nothing to do with me." My mind exploded. I completely broke down, grabbing Vanessa by the hair and slamming her to the ground. The woman screamed piercingly, "Marcus, save me. It hurts." "Ah," Marcus froze like an ice sculpture, his fingertips trembling. "Is what she said true?" Julian gave a scornful laugh, throwing a video footage onto the table. The screen clearly showed Vanessa and Lisa. In the coffee shop, Vanessa stirred her spoon, a venomous glint in her beautiful eyes. "Then you lure Lily to the window, and I'll have someone pick her up. Don't worry about the rest. She's still so young." "Shut up. If I remember correctly, your father needs to pay his medical bills this month, right? Lily is Marcus's only child. If we get rid of her, then and if it's discovered that Leo isn't Marcus's biological son, Leo can still inherit the Sioux family's assets." The video finished playing. Vanessa's face turned ashen, and she shrank back in fear. Marcus's eyes widened, looking at Vanessa in disbelief. Leo wasn't his child after all, and he had done so many things to hurt his biological daughter just to make up for Leo. Immediately after, an assistant rushed in. "Mr. Sioux, the investigation is complete." It was Mrs. Secretary who swapped the exhibit the day before the auction. This statement stirred up another huge wave. Seeing that her actions were exposed, Vanessa decided to go all out. "Yes, I did it. Marcus and I grew up together. On the surface, I was the adopted daughter of the Sioux family, but everyone in the city knew I was meant to marry Marcus." "Why did Marcus fall in love with you while he was at college?" "Grace, why? Is that fair to me?" "Shut up." Marcus roared furiously. "Vanessa, how dare you lie to me? How dare you lie to me?" Vanessa laughed miserably, tears streaming down her face. "Because I love you. That night when you got drunk, I stood naked in front of you, but you had no reaction, you just kept calling Grace's name. I had no choice. I had to do it. I had no time to listen to them argue, I just wanted to find Lily quickly." Julian sped off with me in the car. Fortunately, Alfred's men had intercepted the other car at top speed. The moment I saw Lily, she was tied up and unconscious in the car trunk. My heart felt torn apart, and tears gushed out. I had come so close to losing my daughter forever. I rushed my daughter to the hospital. After a checkup, the doctor said there were no major issues, only requiring an IV drip to regulate her physical and mental health. Only then did I feel relieved. I stepped out to get hot water for Lily. It was then that I glimpsed a familiar figure. Marcus covered his face with his hands, his shoulders shaking with suppressed sobs, tears flowing through his fingers. I ignored him, but my wrist was grabbed. The man choked out, "Grace, I truly didn't know all those things were Vanessa's doing. The person I've always loved is you." Back then, Grandma found out she was pregnant with a son and threatened me with the inheritance if I didn't marry her. I wanted to give you a better life, so I had to become the heir of the Sioux. But believe me, you're the one I love. That's why I kept it from you, thinking I'd divorce her once I took over the Sioux. Later, Grandma couldn't bear for Leo to always be kept hidden and forced me to acknowledge him. That's why I brought him home that day. I shook him off, looking at him with cold eyes. But you still couldn't resist Vanessa's temptation. Marcus, you actually don't love anyone. You're just a jerk driven by possessiveness and thinking with your lower half. No, Grace. I only felt guilt towards her before. Later, because you and Julian grew close, I acted impulsively and did things that hurt you. Now I understand, I was fooled by Vanessa. Grace, I'm a victim too. I didn't want to look at him again. Late remorse is worthless. I don't believe you have no feelings for me. I smiled and nodded. Marcus, hating someone also requires investing emotion in them. So I don't love you, nor do I hate you. Let's just be strangers from now on. Being indifferent was the best way to let go of someone. On the day Julian and I got married, it was sunny and clear skies. All the celebrities and dignitaries in the city came to congratulate us. It was just that someone at the banquet accidentally let slip, "Did you hear? Marcus gave up his inheritance of the group and became a monk at the monastery." I stood with my back to them, feeling no ripple in my heart. Then delivered a package addressed to me. I opened it to find a diamond-encrusted tiara and a card. "Happiness in this life, peace in the next." I recognized the handwriting. In college, Marcus would accompany me to class every day and help me take notes, and I would sit beside him, gazing at him with shining eyes. "Throw it away." Alfred nodded. Julian heard the movement and walked towards me. "What's wrong?" I smiled and shook my head. "Nothing, just some unimportant trash. Throw it away." Later on, I didn't have any more children, instead giving all my love to Lily. Julian agreed, "Having children is tough on your body, and I care about you." We traveled the world with Lily, never mentioning Marcus again. He has become a passing stranger in my life. It's time to cut my losses and have the courage to find someone more deserving in the future.